A look inside Real Sports Bar and Grill, downtown Toronto. A beautiful fall evening for the National Hockey League. And welcome inside Real Sports Bar and Grill. Ryan Leslie along with you. Welcome to Unsportsmanlike content and welcome to the National Hockey League. It is the Leafs hosting the Seattle Kraken, making their lone appearance this season here at the Scotiabank Arena. We will get to all of that tonight. We've got incredible guests as we have had throughout the season. Tonight, I can tell you that we are going to catch up with Curtis Joseph. Cujo is on hand tonight. So, too, is a legendary Leafs fan, Joey Scoleri, who's going to come in, talk a little bit about Leaf fandom, but he's also got this fantastic guitar we want to show you. Looking forward to that. He was presented with that. Maybe we'll get him to even play it in a little bit. They should be along shortly, but let's tee up the game a little bit, shall we? We'll start with the news of the day. As you may have heard, Steven Lorentz is going to check back in. He has missed the last 3 games with that upper body injury. He was available to Craig Berube last game, but just didn't want to tinker with anything tonight. It's just all about bodies and trying to get him in. So Calle Jarnkrok is going to sit this one out, and Steven Lorentz is back in. You saw him take that hit a few games ago, but he's going to be okay and is good to go, as we say, into the lineup tonight for the Leafs. That's a great sign for him. That energy, I asked Craig this morning, I said, so what do you want to see from him? And he just said, look, I just want to see him play exactly the way he did before he went out. And, he had a couple of points in 2 games. So that's encouraging. We'll see what kind of energy he brings. Meanwhile, Dakota Joshua, he said he hasn't exactly been happy with his start. That's a big body who wants to get going, play physical. He's going to be used in those penalty-killing situations, so he needs to kind of find another gear, he said, and certainly those defensive zone starts as well. So important for Dakota to try and continue to find his spot in this lineup and maybe being more of a physical presence. We'll see what he brings tonight. So that's kind of the lineup news tonight. Once again, Lorentz is back in. Jarnkrok is out. We can tell you that yesterday it was a maintenance day for number 34. Austin Matthews did not skate yesterday. It was an optional today. Everything's okay. He had over 22 minutes of ice time. Of course, he had the game winner in overtime against the Rangers. He's been lights out, and look who set him up, Willie Nylander. More on Nylander, who has been absolutely brilliant, quietly, but going about it and getting rewarded, and that was just a sensational play for the game winner against the Rangers. Made it look easy, didn't he? But Willie's getting it done at both ends of the ice as well. But the story of last game, boy, it had to be Anthony Stolarz, didn't it? The netminder was everywhere. He was absolutely sensational, making huge saves. I think about Cooley and Carrick. They had doorstep saves. He had saves on those 2 Rangers play at that point. But Stolarz was sensational. There was the glove, and he had him on the goal mouth. He was just everywhere. And, of course, he took the Rempe shot up high. We'll probably see that momentarily where it would knock off his mask. Boy, that was against Carrick right there. But it was the shot from Rempe that knocked off his helmet. And then you would see him without the helmet on make that point-blank save on JT Miller. It was a bit scary. Everybody, including Stolarz, was so focused. But the rule is you got to, while you have a scoring chance, you can't blow it dead. So they didn't. That left him quite exposed. But it was a moment where Stolarz stood on his head, and he saw it all without the mask. There is the Rempe shot, and there is the Miller shot. You don't see that. Maybe going back to the day, and Stolarz let the netminder hear it, but certainly according to the letter of the law and the rule, you have to, in those scoring situations, play on. So he was sensational. It fired up his teammates, and why not? He was on his game, and as we say, maybe a little bit exposed there at that point. But he was brilliant, and as we say, with Lorentz coming in, it's just a numbers game at that point. So we'll look at that, and again, the Stolarz saves had everybody fired up on the bench. It was sensational. So 28 saves against the Rangers was Anthony Stolarz, and as we say, the boys loved it. So we'll get to all kinds of things tonight. Our guests are going to be along momentarily, but earlier today, I had a chance to catch up with Flames defenseman Chris Tanev, who wanted to talk about maybe improving his defensive play as a group.
All right, Chris, let's just start with the opponent tonight. You know Lane Lambert very well. I guess maybe what kind of a coach is he? What did you like playing under him, and what do you think his team will look like now that he's behind the Seattle bench?
Yeah, he's very detailed, so they're going to be very detailed, very structured, know their assignments, know what they're going to know what we want to do and how they want to combat that. So I think he's going to be very prepared, and it'll be a good challenge for us tonight.
You were just chatting about, I mean, things are going really well for this group, but I know you guys are always a stickler for wanting a full 60. I get that. But you had said just moments ago that defensively you think there's still room for improvement. What specifically on the defensive side do you think that your group can take another step with?
I think killing plays in our own end, less odd man rushes, trying to play in the offensive zone more than our end. I think those are a few things that we're definitely looking to get better at.
What have you liked about the way your group's going? You've won a few in a row here, and I know it seems from the outside as though you're starting to find that. It seems like you're playing a little bit more loose as a group and with a lot more confidence. What have you liked about the way you're going about it?
Yeah, as you said, off to a fairly good start. Won 2 in a row now, and we're just trying to build and grow our game to where we want it to be. So we're taking little steps each time, and hopefully that continues tonight.
I got to ask you about the goalie, because as somebody who's eaten a few pucks in your day, you see a goalie with his mask pop off, and all of a sudden things are going on. He gets another shot right on from Miller. What were you thinking? Maybe what was the conversation like around Stolarz as he had no bonnet on there?
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably didn't even think twice about it. You know, it was just his reaction to get down and try to stop a goal, which he did. I'm not sure if it would have counted or not. I don't know the rules there, but just his courage to be able to stand in there and sort of show that he's willing to do whatever it takes to win a game for us.
That does a little something for you guys on the bench too, doesn't it? I mean, I know there was a lot going on at that moment in the game too, a little bit under siege, but that does give you guys a little jolt, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It just shows his willingness to want to win and how competitive of a guy he is.
Awesome. Good luck tonight against Seattle. Thanks for doing this.
Was Leafs defenseman Chris Tanev stopping by to chat about this one. Of course, we talked about Lane Lambert, and he, of course, was the assistant coach with the Leafs last year under Craig Berube. He's got his team out as a new bench boss for Seattle, 2-0-2, yet to suffer a regulation loss so far this season. He was a specialty man with the penalty kill for the Leafs, and he's got his team buying in. The Kraken, of course, trying to get off to a good start. They've been doing it so far. Again, they have not lost in regulation so far this season. And when you think about that familiarity, and Chief had a lot of great things to say about Lane Lambert, and it's certainly a great opportunity for him to go into Seattle, an expansion team that's kind of gone through a few coaches. They're kind of developing their identity as a franchise as well. So many good players have gone in there, but Jared McCann leading the way there. We see that Brendan Montour stepped away for personal reasons from that team, but this is a team that continues to kind of have that depth throughout their lineup, and we'll see what kind of effort we get from them tonight. We want to talk a little bit about that second line, and specifically the pairing between Willie Nylander and John Tavares. If you look at the standings right now and you look at the points and who's getting what done, and you look at the scoring leaders for Toronto, Willie Nylander is tied for third, I believe, 9 points on the season, going about it, and JT's right there with 5 points. I had a chance to chat with John Tavares just a few moments ago.
I wanted to ask you, I guess it's being Saturday and all.
Yeah.
You've been in this league a long time, but is Saturdays still giving your love for this city and this organization, Saturdays still give you a little juice when you come in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you try to treat them all the same, and you prepare the same way. But you know, when there's things like tradition or things that you know, run deep, and I think in our society or our culture within the sport, and certainly in Canada, you know, playing on Saturday, Hockey Night in Canada is a special thing. So you never take it for granted.
I love that it's not lost on you. To the game itself, I mean, obviously we're so early in this season, but you and Willie continue to develop and build on that chemistry that you've had. I mean, why is it going so right so early for that tandem?
There was John Tavares stopping by, and look who stops by live now, Joey Scoleri. This is a thrill. Joey, thanks for doing this. How are you? Look, you're picking and grinning.
Your threshold is very low if this is a thrill, but thank you for the compliment.
Hey, man, I got to tell you a story. I don't know if I ever told you this. One time I impersonated you when I was in college in Thunder Bay, when you were a DJ at the time, with a Toronto radio station. And they got me into the DJ booth, and I was spinning.
So wait a second,
tracks.
you pretended you were Joey Vendetta from Q107.
I'd never met you. I didn't even know what you looked
and
like.
You
this was pre-internet.
me.
And it
Isn't
got
that
me.
a federal offense or something?
I think it was. And I was in a DJ booth in Thunder Bay College campus just for free beers.
That's funny. Our
and then
CEO's from Thunder Bay. Are
really?
You from Thunder Bay?
No, I was just visiting.
Oh, okay. You didn't go to school there.
I crashed a party. It was great. I said I was you. Got me into the booth. Couple of free beers. They caught on to me and they said it's time to go.
Are you serious?
It was great. I
Wow.
don't know if I should be telling that live.
You're lucky you didn't get thrown in the back alley or anything.
It was great. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I want to get to this, but first of all, of course, you're the head of industry relations with Live Nation. But after a long radio career, sports enthusiast.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got titles. You're wearing hats.
Yeah, I don't know if I worry so much about titles, but I've always had a good time. I've been very fortunate to do what I love.
Yeah.
Never worked a day in my life once I became an adult. Obviously, we all have odd jobs when we're younger and things that we don't necessarily want to do for our career. But I've been fortunate. By the time I was 19, I started in radio, then moved to Los Angeles, worked for Disney and a record company called Hollywood Records, got to work with artists like Queen and the Jonas Brothers and Breaking Benjamin and Plain White T's, and then went to Live Nation in Los Angeles, where I was the head of marketing for a few years, and moved back to Toronto about 8 years ago because I wanted to play hockey more than twice a week, what I was doing in LA, and we skate 4 times a week with all my hockey buddies. A shout out to the boys who play at the Ford Center.
You know this guy, don't you?
Speaking of shout out, hold on, bring the popcorn.
Yeah,
that's for you guys.
Gifts.
I brought you a gift,
Curtis.
Cujo. How are you, my man?
Curtis Joseph.
How are you? I'm good. Good to see you.
Good. Can you hear me? I'm live here.
Yes.
You look great. You sound great. Again, love the jacket. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You know this guy.
What do you
don't
think of this
Joey,
thing?
how are you?
Good, buddy.
I know, nice. I wish I could play it.
Yes. So I'm just going to tell you a quick story about the guitar.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, Vic, we play hockey together at Ford Performance Center. We play 3-4 times a week. A bunch of guys that think they should have played in the NHL, but
Always.
and you actually did. But so there's a buddy of mine, Vic, who owns a recording studio, and I had my 60th birthday party a couple of weeks ago, and I'm lucky. I've done everything. I've been very fortunate, like yourself. We get to do a lot of things, and we're very, very spoiled. And my band played my birthday party at the Mod Club on College Street, and you were there. Anyway, halfway through the set, they bring this to me on stage as my present.
That's great.
And I am generally never blown away by anything, but this guy named John Glenecki, who used to be Vic's guitar player, has a company called Inzane Skins with a Z. He's in Nashville, and he does guitar rapping. It's cool because it has all the years the Leafs won the Stanley Cup on the side here, and they custom made this Les Paul custom for me. So I don't get blown away too often, but I was. So thanks to my buddy Vic, thanks to John and all the hockey boys.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm sorry we can't plug it in because I'd love to hear you play. It was great.
Maybe another time.
Do you play?
No, I can't
Not
play.
at all? Air guitar like me?
I always thought you're either musical or athletic, and I went to the other side.
Isn't it fascinating how one loves the other, right? The relationship between athlete and musician, musician and athlete, and then there's hybrids.
Yeah, rock stars want to be athletes. Athletes want to be rock stars.
I think it's great.
We've dealt with a lot of athletes. So if you heard of the band One Direction, Harry Styles, huge golfer. A lot of these guys are big golfers, right?
Yeah.
And then also, you know this, when I lived in LA, we played hockey with Jerry Bruckheimer and all, the actors, Cuba Gooding Jr., Keanu Reeves. You know a lot of these guys. Hockey players love music. Musicians love hockey. They love other sports. It's a cross-pollination.
I think it's great. Hey, lots to get to with both of you. And if it's okay, very informal conversation. You guys know each other.
Yeah.
And certainly there's some overlap between you as a passionate Leaf fan and your time in Toronto. But I got to ask, for those who don't know, and maybe it's very well known, tell me about the origin of Cujo. I can understand the connection. We get that. But maybe who was the first to come up with it and how you all ran with it?
I think it was Robert Dirk. I always go with that. I think Dirkie was a big, tall defenseman, tough guy, and he just he came up with it. Cujo. He couldn't say Curtis Joseph, so he's like, hey, Cooge, and That's how it originated in St. Louis.
And did you help run with it with either the mask or, I mean, did this became a brand?
Oh, yeah. Right away, I was
this
like,
thing exploded.
oh, Stephen King movie. Cujo, are you kidding me? I'm going to and I'm going to do it simple because my idols before me had simple masks that you could see on TV, like Jerry Cheevers and Ken Dryden, Mike Palmetier. Like these, you could see them on TV, and they were great. So I kept it the same.
Beautiful.
Always kept it simple so you could see it, not too detailed. And
a lot of guys now, they don't keep it, right? They switch it. You kept it.
Well, those guys that I grew up idolizing, they kept it.
Yeah.
So that's how you're recognized by it. So I kept the same.
Yeah, continuity, right? I was at the game where he was in net for the St. Louis Blues, and Doug Gilmour scored the double wraparound where he faked 2 or 3 times. I was actually behind the net. And correct me if I'm wrong, was it triple overtime? It was at least double.
Yeah, it was at least double. Was that a good goal? Or
listen, let's put it this way. When he scored, it took me 10 seconds to figure out that he did. And I think it was 12:30 at night. And how hot was it in the building that night?
No air conditioning, hottest building that I had played in. And, I'd lose 12 pounds. I remember coming out and my buddies from high school would look at me and go, oh, my gosh.
What happened to you?
You're a fraction of yourself. And I'd come out like,
What were you doing in those times? Because I remember talking to Kelly Rudy about those extended overtime games, how much weight you'd lose, to your point. Were you eating and drinking any? I mean, this was before, protein drinks, but was there something you would reach for?
No, I wish I knew about hydration then, like as much as I did at the end of my career. Because at the end of my career, every playoff, after every game, before I got anything off, I'd jump up on the table and get 2 bags of IV, like right away into my system, which is great. Next day I could practice, no problem. But they were giving me salt tablets.
Which is probably the worst thing to do.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm taking salt tablets. By the end of that, my groins were off my legs.
Really?
Oh, they were done. So you always look back to the times that, you could win a Game 7 or take it to the next level. And I wasn't healthy enough in Game 7 to be a factor.
Well, let me ask you about today's Leaf goaltender, Anthony Stolarz. I'm sure there's been times when you've taken a few off the bucket and had to play through it. Is that fair? Anything come to mind about what we saw like last game? Gets the mask
I've seen you lose. I remember you losing your mask a couple of times.
And then all of a sudden, JT Miller drills one point.
Oh, yeah.
That takes you back to the 50s home. Did you have moments like that? You must.
Oh, yeah. No, I was talking about one.
There we are. I think most people remember this.
Yeah. No, I actually broke my jaw before a series in pregame skate, and they said it wasn't broken. This is in Detroit. Took a slap shot in the side of my face by my own teammate, and you knew something was wrong, and played the game. We went 7 games made my own mouth guard, but I went 7 games against Calgary, lost in 7, like 2-1 or 3-2. And I went to the dentist right after, I'll make it short. And I go, hey, I think I need a root canal. It's been bothering me. And he goes, oh, good news, you don't need a root canal. But you do have a broken jaw.
And then you lost weight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I got some good news and some bad news.
Well, I was eating spaghetti.
I hope you like soup.
Yeah. One at a time, spaghetti.
Oh.
But anyway, it was right down the center here. I was like, anyway.
That era of the Leafs, I've been around the Leafs for a long time. I've been hanging out with the team since the early 90s when I met Doug Gilmour when I got traded.
By making mixtapes for Dougie?
Yeah, I used to make the Leafs warm-up tapes before Curtis played for the team, when Felix was the goalie.
Once.
This was back before playlists, right?
That's true love when you make a
mixtape maybe off of AM radio.
Yeah, that's it. So when I was at Q107, I used to make the warm-up tapes for the team, for Gilmour and Ty and those guys, and they would use them in the dressing room. So I was very fortunate. I got to skate at Maple Leaf Gardens the mornings, when the team was away. It would be a trainer named Brent Smith. Brian Papineau was the trainer as well, Chris Broadhurst. And we'd play 3-on-3 pickup, and Bob Rouse and John Cullen would be heard, and we'd play because they wanted to play, right? And to his point about not knowing about nutrition, not knowing about hydration, the training methods were so different then. But I got to skate at Maple Leaf Gardens hundreds of times with NHL players. Talk about for a young kid growing up in an Italian immigrant household.
Yeah.
Just like pinch me, right?
It's fantastic. Who was your guy on the road? Who'd you run with? Who'd you hang with during your time in Toronto? Who were you most likely to gravitate towards?
Well, I was not in charge of setting up dinners or any of that, and Ty did a lot of that,
Yeah.
which is great. And Matt's wasn't either, but I did have a lot of dinners with Matt's and Ty and, you know, the trainers and whoever wanted to come out. So, yeah, lots of those. But we weren't running too much. We were, you know, you're playing a lot of games. And,
Stop it.
Yeah.
It's the internet. You can say anything you want. No,
No,
I'm
I
kidding.
know, but I had 4 kids at home too, so
Sure, fair.
I actually got to watch TV on the road. I was pretty pumped.
Rest is good sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Get on the road. Have a
I was
great
excited to
sleep,
watch TV.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's changed too much now, but
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, when you look at what's going on with the Blue Jays right now and how that team plays for each other, you know, last night's outcome was extremely unfortunate. We don't need to go into that, but that team that you were on, those teams, that Maple Leaf teams, and I know a lot of those guys, and it was a great group of guys that hung with each other and really cared about each other, right?
Exactly. We had a lot of characters, obviously. Tuck's course, Ty come to mind, and everybody else.
Sideshow Bob, as Darcy was called.
But we had each other's back. It didn't matter if something happened to one guy. I mean, the whole team would come in. We had a lot of characters, but we had a lot of character also. So that's why we won too. You know, Ottawa didn't want to face us in the playoffs, even though they had better records. You could tell, and we knew it. And so we had great playoff teams.
Did you like games where you faced more shots, or you seem to thrive on 38-shot games?
yeah.
Oh, I know. I guess that's in my DNA because my wife now, when the kids text me or call me late at night, I jump up and go, hey, Tristan needs this, or, you know, Taylor needs, you know, she goes, wow, you need to be needed. And I'm like, I need to be needed. And then I was like, wow, my whole career, you know, I felt like I need to be needed because we play run and gun and a lot of times, and I played my best that way. You're right, Joey.
I think it's great. I just love that you had this kind of in and around overlap, the same era.
Oh, look, I got to
Great
know
era.
Mats. I got to know Mats, and I'm, you know, buddies with a lot of these guys. And to his point, they had each other's backs, character, people,
Yeah, there
took
were.
care of each other. And, you know, I have to say the guy that had a lot of impact on that, I think, was Pat Quinn, right? I mean, Pat had a huge impact on the DNA of that team.
So what Pat did best was he let everybody play. Nobody was squeezing their sticks. If you're going to fight, you're going to fight. If you're going to hit, you're going to hit. Sergei Berezin, if he was going to try and make moves at the blue line, turn one over, he was still going to play. So he really had a long leash for guys, and I think that bode well for that type of team.
But knowing how to get the most out of each individual, right? Like,
he'd reel it back in when he needed to.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, it was a long leash, and we had characters. You can do that when you have character guys and good leaders, I think.
Would he smoke cigars in the room? What do you remember about that?
You could smell the cigars, and you're like, oh, I wonder if that's Dominican or Cuban. You know, I think I got good at recognizing what where they were from.
Where?
I sat next to the bench one game, and one of the trainers said to me, count how many times he says Jesus Christ during a game. In the first period, I counted Pat Quinn say Jesus Christ 37 times. I'm not... you weren't on the bench often.
Irishman.
You were pretty rarely on the bench because you started 90% of the time, but he certainly didn't hold back, right?
Oh, yeah, no. Sometimes I'd be on the bus after a game, and I'd be at the back, and these guys would be blabbering, and I go, hey, guys, what was happening on the bench? Like, you're as a goalie, you're on an island, you're looking over, and you're like, guys are screaming at each other, things are happening. You're like, and I just go back at the back of the bus, have a beer, and I'd listen to these guys tell stories about things that happen on the bench. I'm like, hey, can you guys get it together?
Well, you had some characters too. When you first got here, if I'm not mistaken, you had Glenn Healy and Felix Potvin. You carried the mail, but those three, that trio, if you will.
Yeah.
What was that dynamic like?
Oh, it was great. So first of all,
got
with
bite.
Felix, I felt bad because, you know, I signed and it was the perfect spot for me, and I admired Felix. I thought he had a great career, and I respected him, you know, the games we played against him. And he was a true professional. I'll always remember that. He treated me really well. You know, with a goaltending position, only one guy can be in the net, and he treated me with great respect, as I did with him. And we had a great relationship until he got traded. So, you know, that was that was hard to do, but you had to focus on what you had to do.
Yeah, he had a good run in L.A. I lived in L.A. after, and I got to see him play for the Kings. And, you know, when he left the Leafs, he was still relatively young, and he played for the Kings for 4 or 5 years and was a starting goalie, and he was fantastic.
Had the great equipment, always great mask.
Another great mask.
Looked great, looked great.
Well, let's stay with goaltending. Where do you see the game and the goaltenders now? Where have you seen maybe the development, the athleticism, just the way they play the position now? What are your observations, and who do you like?
I like Stolar's contract. For as good as he is, it is fantastic, and he's a great goalie. I really like him. So the biggest thing in the game is, I remember when I played in Edmonton, it's the late 90s, each pad was 7 pounds. And now they kept getting lighter to maybe 1.5 pounds. So you got big guys who can move already, great style, great teaching, coaching and goaltending has really changed the game. If you're big, you can play a certain way, cover a lot of net, and it's super efficient. So I had to go back to goalie school when I was 35 years old and learn how to play on my knees and use my edges properly. And I really did, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot easier. And instead of getting up, getting over, and getting back down, just slide across. So efficient goaltending, I understand it. It's great. Goalies are big now. They're not necessarily heavy guys. They're tall and thin, and they carry the equipment. But the evolution of the equipment, which coincided with the evolution of the stick, because it's like putting with the sticks, it was like putting a metal bat in the major leagues. Yeah. Can you imagine? And that's what we basically did with hockey.
Great point.
Who had the hardest shot? Speaking of sticks.
So there was lots of guys.
Who did you wince when they were coming down on you?
There was a guy on every team, and you say, hey, Chara had a great shot, 100. And I go, you know what? I didn't see a lot of his shots because he never got them through. A guy like Ray Bourque was always inside the top of the circle because he was great and he had a bomb. So, to me, Ray Bourque or Al McInnes come to mind, but guys like Jason Arnott, big, strong kids, that thing hit you, was like, it hurt. So there was lots of guys who could, Stefan Richer back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you could fire at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Who did you make the most money for?
Who did I make the most money for?
As in, maybe they had your number a little too much and you made them way too much money. Anybody along those lines?
No, that's a great question, and I have a great answer for that because I have 3 sons who are hockey aficionados, and when I have to do interviews, I go, okay, guys, I got to do an interview today. And they're like, I go, give me a little dissertation on how everybody's doing. And they come up with some great stuff, so it's awesome. But anyway, they go, Dad, who owned you? I go, nobody owned me. And I'm thinking, of course, the Rolodex is going. I go, nobody owned me, you know that. And they go, okay, Dad, hold on a second. Yeah. And on the computer, and like, oh, Timo Solani. Timo's got by far.
He also played 21 years.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Against me, probably in the West, too, a lot. But anyway, Timo had a lot of goals on me, and every time I see him, I saw him last year, and I go, Timo, hey, you're single-handedly keeping me out of the Hall of Fame. How do you feel about that? And he's a great dude.
I want to introduce this oversized hat.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get you both to sign it, and all of our guests this year are going to sign it.
Beautiful.
And we've had some great guests, including you two. So when you have a second here, sign it. We're going to get off the air.
Thanks for having me on.
This has been great. I really appreciate it, guys. And I know you got lots to do. We're going to auction this off at the end of the season. Put it towards some charity, and we're going to have everybody who stops by sign this thing.
Awesome.
So put your...
you got Ty's hat. You're going to sign Ty's hat?
Yeah, this is Ty's hat.
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. I thought maybe I could fit into it, but that's great. Okay, you can catch this game. It's Hockey Night in Canada. It's Saturday. Obviously, this is a big night tonight.
Who do we like tonight? Who do you like tonight?
I think they keep it going, don't they?
It's Seattle against Toronto 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, no, the Leafs are going to win. The Leafs are going to win. They're going to have a big game, and I love it.
Gentlemen, thank you. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the contest tonight, and we'll see you very soon. He is Curtis Joseph. He is Joey Scoleri. I'm Ryan Leslie. Thanks for joining us on Unsportsmanlike content from Real Sport.